Welcome to the fastest stuff in town. Today we're going to this Makkot stuff. Hey, we're going to begin on Haman Aleph, the second line from the top. Says the Mastis. Mishalshlin b'mamin and mishalshlin b'malchus. We're only going to divide up money, but not malchus. Okay, so what does that mean? So hidu shehu chayev l'chaveru mosayim zuz. Let's say you have two people that say that that this person has to pay 200 zuz. The Nimsa Zayman, turns out they're plotting witnesses. So Mishalshlin b'neim. So instead of each of them having to pay 200, each one only pays 100. Combined equals the Messiah. However, when it comes to Malchus, we don't split the Malchus, but rather each one will get their own set of full Malchus. Says Gemara. So how do we know make a distinction when it comes to Malchus that you get the whole thing? Amar Abaye Nemer Rasha b'chayvi Malchus and Nemer Rasha b'chayvi Mises based it. And Malu Holon in Misal Mechso Avkan and Malchus Mechso. So when it comes to Mises based in, so he killed the person entirely. You can't kill someone halfway, so he can't give half Malchus. That's one answer. Rabbi Eimer B'inan Kasher Zoma Masas Achiv. You need to be able to do what you plan to do to him. He planned on getting Malchus. You planned on giving him full Malchus, so you get Malchus back. Yachim Minami, the moment starve, Malchus moment starve. So money combines, and then whatever he lost is what will be reimbursed. However, Malchus does not misstarve. 20 plus 20 does not equal 40. Each subsequent hit is significantly harder. Which is kind of how I envision as a runner. 2 half marathons is nothing compared to a marathon. A marathon's much harder than 2 half marathons. Okay, question 11. Manon dein mishalshalin b'malchus kashem de mishalshalin b'mammon. So Abaya germin Rosh mechavi misas de'ein misa l'machsav hoid l'malchus. Rabbi says be'inan kasher zoma masas shekabel hanidan malchus shlema in mistarv kimama. So that is the reason, and this is the same question as TA 6. So madua in mishalshalin b'malchus, either because we have exeris, we compare it to chayvi misas based in, or because it's not mitzdarif. That's TA 6. And same question, TB 7. Mamish the same. They do that sometimes. They ask the same kasha over and over. I wrote Gzer Shem Chavi Misas Vein Misal Mechsa Sarach Lasais Vasisa Mukasha Zama Baleka B'Moment Starf Ein Mistarf and Lamalchus. Okay. All right, let's see the next Mishnah. Says Masdizin Ein Ha'edin Nasim Zaymin Nachizimus Atzman. This Mishnah would have probably been helpful at the very beginning of the Masechta, talking about what exactly are the dinim of how do you become an Eid Zaymin. So it has to be that you're mazdim, the witnesses themselves. Ketzad Amr Me'idim Anavish Ploini Shahargas the Nefesh. So he said, I'm testifying this guy murdered someone. Amlahem, so the second group comes and says, Hechatem Me'idim Shahari Neragzeh, the person killed, Hahoyragzeh. The killer, Hay Imanu Iso Hayim B'Makam Ploini. Ein Elu Zaymimin. That's not a case of Edom Zaymin. If you say it's not possible because the person you're accusing was with us, or the person who was killed was with us, so even though that's a form of Edi Hachasha, that's not Edi Hazama. But what is Taka case? Amluhem Hechatem Edim Shahari Atem. You the witnesses. Hayisem Imanu Oisa Hayam B'Makamploni, or with us somewhere else. Hari Elu Zaymin. V'neragin al PN. They'll be killed based on their testimony. There's different interpretations what this line means. Let's say another pair comes and was mazim them. So even 100 times they're all killed. So look at Rashi. Let's say you have so the second kat is believed. Is believed that the first kat is Edom Zayman. And then all of a sudden another group comes and says, this is how Rashi learns it, like the first group. The Hizimu El Hashnayim, the second group came it was Mazim, the same ones who was Mazim the first group, they're Mazim the third group. They can do this even 100 times. So at this, Rabbi Yehuda Omer, it's status hizu. This is like a group of plotters. The Einu Nerag Elkat Rishen Bilvad. It's hard to imagine how is it shaykh that what he's going to say. The second group is going to say the same thing about each kat imon hoyisim. No, that's not how it works. Only do they have the power to actually be believed over the first kat, but nothing subsequently. Okay, that's one way of understanding this. That's how Rashi learns this case. Some people learn the case. I think the Shitas Hagoinim explain our Mishnahs. The later group says the previous group are Zaymim. Then the third group says the second were Zaymim. So always you kill the group accused of being Zaymim. That's how the Shitas Hagoinim explain this. And the Ritva, and the Meiri, and Rashi, again, all say that it's the killer in the second kat is believed over them. The same kat is Zaymim, the others that state that Reuven killed Shimon. Okay, as we saw in Rashi. So again, Rashi and the Meiri and the Ritva, they all hold like that. But again, there's the Shita Sagoinim, interesting interpretation of how to read this Mishnah. Says the Gemara. So Mina Hanimili said, how do we know, Take, that this is the situation? That's what Edom Zayman are. So Omer Rabbi Ad, did you ever call the pasuk says V'hini Sheker Ha'ed Sheker Ana? So it says that there were witnesses that were false in their testimony. So it's Ad Tishaker Gufa Shel Edus. It's only when they take and give sheker regarding the actual testimony, knows the Edom themselves. Is it Edom Zayman? Debei Rabbi Shmuel Tana La'ana Yisploit Sarah Ad shetisra gufa shel edus, until they removed from the calamity. It has to be the gufa shel edus. Omer Rabba Bosh Naim Yomer b'Mizrach Bira Harig Ponius and Nefesh. On the eastern side of some Rashi says a bira is a trackling god, like a big palace. I saw a murder. You were actually not on the eastern side of this huge palace. You're on the western side. Chazinan. So it is possible that you could be on the other side, but maybe you were able to still have seen it, what went on the other side. So it's all totally on whether or not you could see. So pshita, obviously, if you can see or you can't see. So maybe we should be chayshish, even though the normal person could not see this. But Rashi says Shema Ma'ori Nehem Shel Elu Bir B'Seifin L'Merachak Yosim Menu. Maybe they have superior vision, and therefore an average person can't see, but you maybe Zadim could see. Kamashmon, we're not going to be chayshish for Noyer Beria. Two people come Yamur B'Tsura B'Safra in Surah in the morning, B'Chad B'Shabbata on Sunday, Hard Points and Nefesh. I saw a murder. Yamru B'Panya in the evening, B'Chad B'Shabbata on that same day, Yimanohisim Ben Arda. You weren't in Surah because you're in Narda. Now, they're not saying that where they were in the morning. The second group is saying, I know you were with us in the evening. Now, Chazina. From the morning to the evening, you can get there, and it'll have Muzayman. So again, Pshita, obviously, if you can't get there, there's Zayman. If you can, you can't. So maybe we're concerned of a flying camel, which obviously just means, Rashi says, it's actually Mina Gamolim. It's some type of special camel. Yesh Shehem Kalim. They're very light, just like a bird that flies. Yomorava Boishnai V'Yomer B'Chad B'Shabbata on Sunday. Hard point is a nefesh. Voshnav V'Yomer Mano Hisim B'Chad B'Shabbata. You were with us on Sundays. You couldn't have witnessed that. Elo B'Trei B'Shabbata Hard point is a nefesh. Taka, the guy actually did get killed. It did happen. This guy did murder this guy, but it was on Tuesday. V'oid elafiu omer erev Shabbos harag plinius nefesh. Even if they would have said the murder took place before you said it took place, Neragin, these Adam Zem will still be killed. Why? To be in the Kamasahadi Gavril Upper Katalahu. There was no actual Gemar Din on this person to be killed. And therefore, when you gave the Eidos, you're giving it to have him killed, and therefore that's why you'll be killed. So my Kamash went to Nina. Where do you learn this? Where do you learn this? So Seifa, we learn it. This the Reisha just because of the Seifa. What's the Seifa? Mashien can be Gemar Din. Is 3 chalei. When it comes to the Gemar Din, then things change. What does that mean? There was a Gemar Din that already took place. So that's what they said. The two people came and said there was a Gemar Din on Sunday on this person. That can't be because you were with us on that Sunday. There's a Gemar Din already before on Friday on that this guy was guilty. Because at the time that they gave testimony, he was already Markatal because it was already Gemar Din. Same thing when it comes to paying penalties of money. So I saw on Sunday that he stole, slaughtered, or sold. So he's a chiv of dal dehei. You're with us. He actually did this, but it was on a different day. So Mishalman, so the Edom have to pay. The Edom still have to pay. They're still Edom Zayman. To be in the Kamasahadi, Gavril Bar Tashluman who, because he was not a Bar Tashluman at the time. However, which again is no Chiddush, but the Chiddush is there was a Gemar Din against this guy. You're with us. There's no way you could have seen that. However, you're right that it did take place. Elwa be'erev Shabbos. Erev Shabbos ganav atavach hamachar. V'nigmar dinoi. V'od elafil omer b'chav Shabbat ganav atavach hamachar. U'vitrei b'Shabbata nigmar dinoi. And then on Tuesday there was the Gemar Din. Ein mishalman to be in and the kamasahadi gabar tashul minhu. So again, the chiddush is when it comes to Gemar Din. So that is the chiddush there. Okay. Let's just see if we have any more questions. Okay, weiter. So the Gemara said that, reading Rashi, that not only does the second kat, which is a chiddush, have the koyach to be able to punish the first kat, so too, according to the Tanakama, if a third or a fourth, they all come, the second one has the power to make them into Adam Zem. Rabbi Huda says that can't be. And it's clear that they're status. This is their plotting witnesses. There's no way that they know testimony about all these different people. It's hard to imagine. They only have the koyach on the first, but no one else. Okay. So let's continue the Hamid Bays. Now, I understand. If we know for a fact that these guys are liars, right? And Rashi says, Istatis prav ilfas perish loshin stis, which is a type of dye. That it's all it's like a stain. So he has thought this then he shouldn't be believed to make the first group into Adam Zerman either if they're clearly they're status. So Rabavo Shikadma Bahargu. Now we already killed the first group, so there's nothing we can do about it. So Madhavahava understands. So what happened? What was El Amarava Chachakamer Im Eno El Kad Achas. If there's only one kat, nehareges. So then you're right. If there's one kat, then we don't say status. However, if there's a bunch and he keeps trying to say everyone is guilty, ein neharagin, because then it's considered to be status. Ha bilvad kamer. It says the word bilvad, which is mashma more than one kasha. Hahiyas sahadi. There was this woman that had witnesses. Vishtaker. It turned out that the witnesses that she produced were liars. Isis Sahadi, again, a second group, Vishtaker, and they're lied again. So also Isis Sahadi, a third time, Dulo Ishtaker. The third time, it didn't seem like they were lying. Says Rashi, Hachishu Zed Zeh, but Derish is based in that each aid contradicted the other based on the interrogation process. The third time, they seem to be okay. So there's a chazaka which seemingly is in this case. Says Rashi, she has a chazaka, sheker. She has the pattern of bringing 80 sheker. So no matter who these people are, they're not going to be believed, according to the opinion of Reish Lakish. Just because she's a liar, Kol Yisrael mi huchsaku. Who says that the rest of Kol Yisrael is? In other words, there's a chazaka on her being a liar and bringing false witnesses. But who says that the third group, who has not been established as contradicting their statements, maybe they're okay? Zimnin, sometime later, Rabbi Yochanan. The same situation took place in front of him. She shouldn't be believed with this third group of witnesses. Rabbi Yochanan, so therefore, Taka, this third group is believed. He looked at him crossly. You hear something from the bar navcha, which is a blacksmith, which is referring to Rabbi Yochanan. So you have to quote him. So Lemer Shlokish Diamak Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Yochanan Diamak Rabbanan. So Melch Shlokish no Ana Diamir Elacha Vil Rabbanan, who say that they're believed. The second group on the third, the fourth, up to 100, because Ad Kan Loy Rabbanan Hasam Deleka Kamas Mahader. So look at Rashi. So the Leika de Kamahada, that there's no one to look around to find Adam Sulam. She'en Adam Makser Acharehim Sachram Lahargilam Tamid Lavo Bastin Lahazim es Koil Haboyim. Rabbi Yochanan who doesn't believe. Ad kan lo kam Rabbi Yehuda hasam dik amrinan atu what kol yama gabi hani havi kaima. What, you witnessed all these witnesses, the third, even 100 witnesses, they're all with you. That's hard to believe. Must be a status. Avol hacha hani yadai b'sadusa hani lo yadai b'sadusa. One knew the testimony, one didn't know the testimony. In other words, maybe the last group who knows the testimony, they should be believed based on them being there. Okay. Question 12. Ba'yicher v'hisum afil me'kula mihargu. B'hudar mistatasi. Hahi esasadi asisadi v'ishtakar asisadi v'ishtakar v'chulu. Ma'asvar d'reish lachish di'amar hachzaka huchsaka zu de'asa afkar abanan. U'ma'asvara di'aymer misha huchsak kol Yisrael di'amar di'amar misha huchsaku kol Yisrael di'amar af v'ayin kari. So it's like this. Reish Lakish will say, over there's no one that's going after him. Says Rashi, she'ein adam machzor acharehim. There's no one looking around going after this guy. Well, sachram to hire him, right? To go to base him and to be mazim. So maybe over there, that's the reason why. However, avol hacha ika. But over here, there is what to look around. Or Yehuda says, Atu is the whole world was there. So no, it's this status, you're not believed. But over here, one group knew the Eidos, one didn't know the Eidos, and therefore the third cut should be believed. Okay. Fine. Weiter. Let's see one more. Mishnah says the Masdisan. Ein ha'edim zaymin neragan ad sheyigmar hadin. It has to be Gemar Din. Shaharat Sedukim oimrim ashi harig. The Sedukim actually say that you actually have to sentence the guy to death. We don't hold like that. Once he's sentenced to death, then you're potter. But in this case, you have to at least have Gemar Din. Shnemer nefesh nachas nefesh. So Amr lehem chacham avol kamar nemar v'sizim kasher zomam l'asas olchem v'har yachav kayim. What do you want to your brother? Obviously, your brother's still alive. So therefore, we see clearly It's not that after he's dead, because once he's dead, he's not your brother. So v'im kein l'woman nemar nefesh tachas nefesh. What does that mean? So yachol mishashe kibul edus and yihargu. As soon as he gave testimony, Talmud learner nefesh tachas nefesh ha'enu neharagin anshig maradin. So nefesh tachas nefesh, unlike the tzadukim who take it literally, it means it's only after you kill the guy. It means after Gemar din. If after Gemar din you're considered Muslim, then the punishment applies to you. Says the Gemara, Tana Baribi. Omer, that this was his name, this is what he said. Lo hargu neragin. If you don't kill the guy that you're testifying against, then you'll be killed. The witnesses, for as Adam Simon. So hargu, if you attack and kill them, ain't neragin. So it's hard to understand that if you end up killing the guy, why would you not be killed? It seems a lot worse. So Omer of Aviv Beni, my son, lav kal v'chaymerhu. How can you say that so plainly? It should be kal v'chaymer that to kill the Adim when they were successful in killing. So the beautiful part that you can't learn out of kal v'chaymer from an einish, as we saw already in this Masechta, that part of the punishment is actually for kapara, to achieve atonement. So maybe only someone who had Gemar din we will apply v'yasisam kasher zamam. However, if a person already was successful in killing, that's so heinous, so maybe his punishment won't be enough. Desanya. You can't take your sister as a wife. So ainli el bas aviv shlo basimo shlo bas aviv basimo u bas aviv menayin. We only know like a half parent. How do we know if it's your mother's and father's side, this girl, that you can't take this daughter? So Talmud Loimer ervas achaysa gila from this extra pasuk. Now I understand why need a pasuk. Actually, Yomer, even before you say this, yeshli din, there's a kavachaymer. Im anish al bas aviv shloi basimo basimo shlo bas aviv. If there's a punishment for your half sister, so bas aviv basimo lukoshkin, certainly. So that's not true. You can't learn out just because it seems logical through a Kabbalah doesn't mean you can punish that way, because maybe again the whole notion is kapara, as the Marsha explains. So Aine Shimano is Harbadan. What's the Azhar? Talmud Lemer Yervas Hachaischa Bas Avicha O Basimecha Ainli El Bas Aviv Shlo Basimo Basimo Shlo Bas Aviv Bas Aviv Ubasimo Menayin. How do I know if she's a full to the mother and father side? Talmud Lemer Yervas Bas Eishes Avicha Moedas Avicha Chaischahi. So that's the pasuk. That is the Azhara. So Ad Shlo Yomer Yeshlim in a din. So l'chayra again, you could ask the same kasha, because l'chayra we have a kal v'chaymer. Ma im huzher al bita bas imoy shul bas aviv ubas aviv shul bas imoy. If we already gave an azhara for a half sister, so bas aviv bas imo l'koshikain. So why do you need another pasuk? Halamata shein mas here in minadin. Again, you can't be maz here from a din either. Now, Chavi Malchus Menayin. How do you know by Chavi Malchus? Talmud Lemer Russia. Chavi goes Menayin. Asir Ritzech. So when Exer Shava. Tanya. Amr Behuda ben Taboy. Arab ben Nachama. I will see consolement and comfort. Imlo Haragti Aid Zaymim. Wahaitzi Malibin Shal Sadukim Shal Amrim Ein Ha'edim Zaymin Naraganat Shiaharig Hanidoin. So the Edim Zaymim say that the Tzedukim say that you mamish need to have the guy killed, and then only after that will the Edom Zayman become Zayman and they'll be killed. So because Rabbi Yehuda ben Taboy wanted to disprove them, he wanted to be able to actually have the Edom Zayman killed, not when they were successful in killing, based on their testimony, but only after the Gemar Din, to be able to show that the Din is not like the Tzedukim. The problem is, it's an aid zaymim, it says here, that he was willing to even kill one witness, not both of them. So you actually killed someone that shouldn't have been killed. Obviously, he's not the best person. You caught him as an aid zaymim, but that's not good enough. It's got to be both. You can't give Malchus unless both of them were found Eidim Zayman. So Miyad, Kibo Rabbi Huda ben Taboy, Shenumara Hoyra, Elifne Shimon ben Shetach. He decided he's only going to paskin now in front of Shimon ben Shetach. He realized his mistake, Rabbi Huda ben Taboy did, and therefore he said, I'm only going to paskin with Shimon ben Shetach, and both of them are linked as a Nasi and Av based in Perkei Avos. The whole Yom Shel Rabbi Huda ben Taboy, he was actually did have this aide killed, but he felt so bad that he made a mistake that he would prostrate himself onto this grave, and you can hear a voice coming out of it. Everyone thought it was actually the killer. The killer's the one who was killed, right? And it was his cries. So Amri, he said, no, Koli Shalihu. No, it's really my voice. I'm crying. I, Rabbi Huda ben Taboy, I'm crying. Taden, I'll prove it to you. Well, Machu Meis, because tomorrow, one day I'll die. Ain't Kol Nishma. You're not going to hear the voice anymore. So it's clearly it's my voice, Rabbi Huda ben Taboy, and not the person who died. So Malay Rav Acha Mareda Rav Ashi Dilma Bedina Kam Bahadei Iname Fusim Faise. Maybe the mace was dealing with him in the Beis Din in the Shemayim, or somehow Rabbi Huda ben Taboy was able to appease him once he died. So therefore, maybe it's not a raya necessarily that was Rabbi Huda ben Taboy's voice. It's possible that it was actually the voice of the person who died. Okay, we're going to stop there in a second. The Aruch HaNer asks, if Rabbi Huda didn't know the halacha that only kill when zaymim, both of them, then why does it say the reason he paskined that way is to take out of the heart of the Tzedukim? He had to kill because that to him was the halacha to have this aid killed. And if he did know the halacha, what right does he have to kill the aid? Just to disprove the Tzedukim? If so, why would he change his mind afterwards? So the aid was chayiv for different misa, some explain. Rabbi Yehuda waited to kill him for zaymim. Shimon said you can't do this since there's no Gemar Din. Okay, so that's how the Aruch HaNer explains this case a little bit more. The Ritva says that we see from here that you could even ask for forgiveness to someone after his death. Okay, let's look at a question. TA7. Man Nikra Eidus Milchedes, we didn't do. Question TB8. Al Pishnaim Eidim. Adkan.